Isn't it time to grow up? Now you can with current accounts from DFCC Bank. DFCC Bank. Keep growing.
Pirisidu fresh hisak තියෙන පිරිමි ශක්තිමත්. ඒත් අධික තෙල් සහ ඉස්සොරි වලට පුළුවන් ඒ ශක්තිය නැති කරන්න මම ක්ලියර් මෙන් තෝරගන්නේ ඒ නිසායි. ක්ලියර් මෙන් අධික තෙල් සහ ඉස්සොරි zero කරන නැවුම් මෙන්තෝල් වලින් සමන්විත නිසා මගේ හිස කෙස් හැම විටම fresh. ඒ වගේම ඉස්සොරි වලින් නිදහස්. ක්ලියර් මෙන් ඉස්සොරි zero කරයි ලෝවාංක එකේ මෙන්ස් shampoo.
Isn't it time to grow up? Now you can with home loans, education loans and vehicle loans from DFCC Bank. DFCC Bank. Keep growing.
Let's start a life-changing partnership. Union Assurance.
Energetic and daring, some see the world in vibrant shades. The choice of every Sri Lankan, no limit. Satuta bedana nama,
ඔබ ළඟ රැඳි නම
sanasumadana nama,
එය සිංහ නම
mihira mavana nama,
අවස නිවන නම
senehe bedana nama,
එය සිංහ නම මුළු පවුලට සතුට සදන සිංහ අති විශිෂ්ට විශ්වාසය.
පිරිසිදු fresh හිසක් තියෙන පිරිමි ශක්තිමත්. ඒත් අධික තෙල් සහ ඉස්සොරි වලට පුළුවන් ඒ ශක්තිය නැති කරන්න මම ක්ලියර් මෙන් තෝරගන්නේ ඒ නිසායි. ක්ලියර් මෙන් අධික තෙල් සහ ඉස්සොරි zero කරන නැවුම් මෙන්තෝල් වලින් සමන්විත නිසා මගේ හිස කෙස් හැම විටම fresh. ඒ වගේම ඉස්සොරි වලින් නිදහස්. ක්ලියර් මෙන් ඉස්සොරි zero කරයි ලෝවාංක එකේ මෙන්ස් shampoo.
Some see a myriad of possibilities ready to break out in glory. The choice of every Sri Lankan, no limit.
Let's start a life-changing partnership. Union Assurance.
Satuta bedana nama,
ඔබ ළඟ රැඳි නම
sanasumadana nama,
එය සිංහ නම
mihira mavana nama,
අවස නිවන නම
senehe bedana nama,
එය සිංහ නම මුළු පවුලට සතුට සදන සිංහ අති විශිෂ්ට විශ්වාසය.
Isn't it time to grow up? Now you can with current accounts from DFCC Bank. DFCC Bank. Keep growing.
පිරිසිදු fresh හිසක් තියෙන පිරිමි ශක්තිමත්. ඒත් අධික තෙල් සහ ඉස්සොරි වලට පුළුවන් ඒ ශක්තිය නැති කරන්න මම ක්ලියර් මෙන් තෝරගන්නේ ඒ නිසායි. ක්ලියර් මෙන් අධික තෙල් සහ ඉස්සොරි zero කරන නැවුම් මෙන්තෝල් වලින් සමන්විත නිසා මගේ හිස කෙස් හැම විටම fresh. ඒ වගේම ඉස්සොරි වලින් නිදහස්. ක්ලියර් මෙන් ඉස්සොරි zero කරයි ලෝවාංක එකේ මෙන්ස් shampoo.
Isn't it time to grow up? Now you can with home loans, education loans and vehicle loans from DFCC Bank. DFCC Bank. Keep growing.
Hello and a very good afternoon to all our viewers. Welcome to Single Schools Rugby League 2018. And this is the week 3 in the second round action, as Zahira College will host their neighbours St. Joseph's College. We are bringing you live pictures on your number one sports hub, www.thepapare.com. And the good news is it is really hot and sunny, unlike yesterday where it was a heavy downpour, as St. Peter's beat Kingswood 20 points to 10 back in Havelock Park. And 3 games lined up today, and we are bringing you all 3 games live as St. Joseph's taking on Zahira. And a lot of expected by the visiting team today. And Zahira College pretty decent job this time around, also to stay in that cup segment after 2 wins in that first round against Dharmaraja College as well as DS Senana College. Of course, a tough encounter. And on the other hand, St. Joseph's a much improved team comparing to their first round performance, and also they struggle in fact to beat Wesley College a week ago. In fact, Wesley leading 16 points to 14 at one point in the 60th minute. St. Joseph's hit back at the full time 26 points to 16. And the weather this evening, we are expecting some thunderstorm as the day progress. 29 Celsius the temperature, and also we have the wind speed 16 km per hour from the southeast, and also humidity 81%. We can see both the players off your screens doing a different style of warm-ups. St. Joseph's early on just concentrating on their set pieces, especially in that line out, and also Zahira, they expect to do. They were quite okay in terms of their physical battle in that breakdowns. They won 6 breakdowns against the champions or the defending champions Royal College last weekend, which is quite good. And also the second half performance rather, which was quite convincing as they allowed just 2 tries. And today it's going to be a different game, different ground. Of course, Zahira have the advantage in the home grounds. Spectators wise, there's a lot to come into this ground, as also this fasting has started for Zahira and the Muslims around the world. And we'll take a quick commercial break. Don't go anywhere. We'll come back with the live action. Stay tuned on your number one sports hub.
Let's start a life-changing partnership. Union Assurance.
Energetic and daring, some see the world in vibrant shades. The choice of every Sri Lankan, no limit. Satutta betana nama,
ඔබ ළඟ රැඳි නම
සනසුමදන නම,
එය සිංහ නම
මිහිර මවන නම,
අවස නිවන නම
සෙනෙහෙ බෙදන නම,
එය සිංහ නම
මුළු පවුලට සතුට සදන සිංහ අති විශිෂ්ට විශ්වාසය.
පිරිසිදු ෆ්‍රෙෂ් හිසක් තියෙන පිරිමි ශක්තිමත්. ඒත් අධික තෙල් සහ ඉස්සොරි වලට පුළුවන් ඒ ශක්තිය නැති කරන්න මම ක්ලියර් මෙන් තෝරගන්නේ ඒ නිසයි. ක්ලියර් මෙන් අධික තෙල් සහ ඉස්සොරි zero කරන නැවුම් මෙන්තෝල් වලින් සමන්විත නිසා මගේ හිස කෙස් හැම විටම ෆ්‍රෙෂ්. ඒ වගේම ඉස්සොරි වලින් නිදහස්. ක්ලියර් මෙන් ඉස්සොරි zero කරයි. ලෝවාංක 1 මෙන්ස් ෂැම්පූ.
Some see a myriad of possibilities ready to break out in glory. The choice of every Sri Lankan, no limit.
Let's start a life-changing partnership. Union Assurance.
සතුට බෙදන නම
ඔබ ළඟ රැඳි නම
සැනසුම දෙන නම
එය සිංහ නම
මිහිර මවන නම
අවස නිවන නම
සෙනෙහ බෙදන නම
එය සිංහ නම
මුළු පවුලට සතුට සදන සිංහ අති විශිෂ්ට විශ්වාසය.
Isn't it time to grow up? Now you can with current accounts from DFCC Bank. DFCC Bank. Keep growing.
පිරිසිදු ෆ්‍රෙෂ් හිසක් තියෙන පිරිමි ශක්තිමත් ඒත් අධික තෙල් සහ ඉස්සොරි වලට පුළුවන් ඒ ශක්තිය නැති කරන්න මම ක්ලියර් මෙන් තෝරගන්නේ ඒ නිසයි ක්ලියර් මෙන් අධික තෙල් සහ ඉස්සොරි zero කරන නැවුම් මෙන්තෝල් වලින් සමන්විත නිසා මගේ හිස කෙස් හැම විටම ෆ්‍රෙෂ් ඒ වගේම ඉස්සොරි වලින් නිදහස් ක්ලියර් මෙන් ඉස්සොරි zero කරයි ලෝවාංක එකේ මෙන්ස් ෂැම්පූ
Isn't it time to grow up? Now you can with home loans, education loans and vehicle loans from DFCC Bank. DFCC Bank. Keep growing.
Let's start a life-changing partnership. Union Assurance.
Energetic and daring, some see the world in vibrant shades. The choice of every Sri Lankan, no limit. සතුට බෙදන නම
ඔබ ළඟ රැඳි නම
සැනසුම දෙන නම
එය සිංහ නම
මිහිර මවන නම
අවස නිවන නම
සෙනෙහ බෙදන නම
එය සිංහ නම
මුළු පවුලට සතුට සදන සිංහ අති විශිෂ්ට විශ්වාසය.
පිරිසිදු ෆ්‍රෙෂ් හිසක් තියෙන පිරිමි ශක්තිමත් ඒත් අධික තෙල් සහ ඉස්සොරි වලට පුළුවන් ඒ ශක්තිය නැති කරන්න මම ක්ලියර් මෙන් තෝරගන්නේ ඒ නිසයි ක්ලියර් මෙන් අධික තෙල් සහ ඉස්සොරි zero කරන නැවුම් මෙන්තෝල් වලින් සමන්විත නිසා මගේ හිස කෙස් හැම විටම ෆ්‍රෙෂ් ඒ වගේම ඉස්සොරි වලින් නිදහස් ක්ලියර් මෙන් ඉස්සොරි zero කරයි ලෝවාංක එකේ මෙන්ස් ෂැම්පූ
Some see a myriad of possibilities ready to break out in glory. The choice of every Sri Lankan, no limit.
Let's start a life-changing partnership. Union Assurance.
A very good afternoon. Once again, welcome you all for the Singer Schools Rugby League 2018, and Zahira College will host their neighbours St. Joseph's here at Maradana. And the good news is, like I mentioned before, it's quite humid out here, 81%, and there's no rain god so far. We saw a downpour yesterday's game at St. Peter's versus Kingswood. But before that, let's have a look at the teams today. Shamir Nassar, Mohammad Nafiz and Amjad Fahmy in that front row combination, Hassan Nawaz and Atiq Aslam in the lock combination, Mohammad Imad, Zaid Tajuddin and the skipper Mohammad Din at the number 8 position, and Iqbal and Minhaj Samsuddin will be key players. Number 13 played as centre, switching into that pivotal position. Number 10 will be interesting switch. We'll see how it goes to coach Shamli Nawaz's team. Farhan Swaib in the left wing, Sharik Yusuf and Rahman Buso in the centre combination. Rusdi Abdin is the right wing, Luqman Ahmad as the full back for Zahira, and in the replacement or in the bench, Fazlat Fahmi, Atiq Alahuddin, Tuan Shazlik, Mohammad Zakaria, Inam Mohammad, Abdullah Ashraf, Mahdi Namiz, Dilhan Ramiz, Akmal Medin and Anasdin Mohammed will be the replacement for the home team. And let's have a look at the visiting team St. Joseph's team card. In the front row combination, Tiraka Santosh, John Ganego, the Johan Akila, and in the lock combination, Sachin the Pereira and Navin de Silva. Interesting number 33. And Vishwa Fernando, Shehan Eranda and Taridudi Alvis in the number 8 position as a loose forward for St. Joseph's. And in the half-back combination, Rashin Gunawardana, he's a playmaker to watch out for. Samisha Viranga, the skipper. Quite interesting, two centres starting in the pivotal fly-half position, and Karin Keshan and Shan Akila in the centre field. Gamunu Chetia, the top try scorer in this season so far with 10 tries under his belt, will be the centre for St. Joseph's, and Tarindu Madhuranga will be the right wing. Dulanjana Piatis, all good runners for St. Joseph's. And in the bench, Gershum Tangaya, Sean Gregory, Pavindu Dilshan, Cheka Jawardana, Vihanga Pereira, Udesha Pereira, Santosh Algama, Ashan Fernando, Imesh Disanayaka and Johan Anjana, the replacement or the finishers for St. Joseph's and Nilfa Ibrahim's team. So we are just minutes away for the kick-off. Joining me in the commentary is former Zahira, St. Peter's, CRNFC skipper and also played for Sri Lanka Tuskers, Ishan Noor. Very good afternoon to you, mate.
Good afternoon, Shabir. Be here.
And your thoughts, both Zahira and of course you must be happy that St. Peter's won yesterday and they are unbeaten so far, Ishan. And talk about this game, how will both the teams feel in the first 10 minutes especially?
It's going to be a tough game with Zahira. St. Joseph has really good 3 quarters to play actually. We've actually expected some cloudy weather. Match officials, Aruna Shantha, Pradeep Indikan, Ranjit Kumar is actually walking in on the screen. So we were actually expecting some cloudy weather and it might rain. So if it rains, it's going to be a difficult task for St. Joseph's, being that their forwards are not that great this year. But here on, I think we have a very good line when it comes to... Sorry, I guess the mic was off. So yeah, it's going to be a tough game basically for Zahira, and fielding in St. Joseph pretty much strong side. I think everyone is pretty much in the lineup because next week it's going to be a hard game, especially with St. Peter's. So coming back to St. Joseph's side, I think we were actually expecting some rain and a cloudy weather, being that St. Joseph is pretty much very really good line, whereas Zahira too has a competitively very good line, coached by Ashandi Costa and Shamli Nawaz's team. So it's going to be a tough game for Zahira to come back, especially with their forwards. I think forwards are pretty good, but when it comes to St. Joseph forward, there was a question mark, especially with the Royal game as well. So that might be one strategy where Shamli Nawaz might be looking at to attack from the forwards.
Oh yes, talking about that forwards play, Ishan, Zahira quite reasonably outstanding, I should say, in the game against Royal. Yes, they lost around 40 points to somewhat, but the thing is they countered that driving maul, they sacked that driving maul, and also 6 turnovers in the breakdown. We know for the fact that maybe it's not the Royals' first team, but there are some good names in that starting lineup. But that's what expecting. Maybe the weather, they were trying to keep that attack close, but we never know, because St. Joseph's are very dangerous in terms of their back play. As we see, like I mentioned, the top try scorer Gamunu Chetia, also captain Sri Lanka under 18 for the Junior Commonwealth Games in Bahamas last year, so he is one to watch out. So all teams are done with the warm-ups, and we are just a minute short for the kickoff here. Referee Aruna Shantha is the man in charge in the middle, and we don't see the usual spectators here in Mardana, Ishan, maybe due to the fasting.
And also, like I said, probably they were predicting the weather as well, because yesterday it rained pretty hard, so today they would have expected the same thing.
Yes, indeed. And also talking about this combination, we are talking about the Joseph's forward, Ishan. We have seen how well this guy been playing, Siobhan Gregory, brother of Stefan Gregory, but he's coming off the bench. And looking at the team card, but coach Nilfa Ibrahim not taking Zahira easily, because there's quite senior players in this lineup. Also some switches have been made. Two centers, of course, center of Zahira and center of St. Joseph's are playing in that pivotal fly half position today.
Yeah, true enough. Like I said, Shabir, I think next week they might be concentrating on the next week games, which is against St. Peter's. So probably some of these players might actually play for 15-20 minutes or so, even maybe the first half, and then be in rest. So it's also a good opportunity. Probably they are trying out the new combination with fly halves, especially with Zahira and St. Joseph's as well.
Yes, indeed, and it's 4 minutes past 4 p.m. here in local time, and the home team, Captain Mohammed Dean, leading from the front. And quite unusual that the home team come to the ground early, but the things have been changed. What is the psychological factor in that home team coming early to the ground, Ishan?
More than anything, I think they are behind scheduled time, because they were supposed to kick off by 4 o'clock. And also St. Joseph is maybe still in their team talk inside the dressing room, so any moment they might also come out. But I think the spectators, when it comes to St. Joseph supporters, are pretty less, Shabir, which is unusual generally.
Yep, but regardless of the spectators, Ishan, we hope to expect a cracking game here. You can see some overcast conditions and some dark clouds from the southeast end. And here comes St. Joseph Zahira with the prayer in the middle. St. Joseph's only lost to Royal College in their first round game, and next week they'll be playing for their traditional encounter against St. Peter's College, and that'll be another interesting game. And also today there's another 2 games. We are bringing you live on your number 1 sports hub as Wesley take on Royal College from CRNFC, and also Isipatana host Trinity College back in Havelock Park. Another 2 cracking game. So the prayer is done in the middle for the home team, and St. Joseph's with their traditional huddle. Zahira will attack from right to left on your screens. They have the disadvantage of the sun coming directly into their face or into their eyes. Maybe St. Joseph's won the toss and they elected to attack from the left, which is a smart thing to do. Any team would prefer that.
Yesterday it was pretty gloomy by this time, and we actually expected that today as well, but see the other way around, and it's bright and sunshine over here in Maradana.
So all set here as Buso, the man in charge with the kickoff. And it's a flat kick straight away into St. Joseph's prop forward. In fact, the flanker, number 6, Shahan Eranda. Such a good play in the breakdown. And here's that thumping up and under collected by the skipper Mohammed Dean. He's isolated, is he? And there's a knock-on call from the bench, but referee allowed it play on. So Zahira with position from where they kicked, in fact. This is the first take by the lucid prop Shamim, straight away into contact, switching direction by the halfback Iqbal. Zahira still inside their own territory. That's another good carry by the big forward. Again switching directions. Good run, inches by inch, meter by meter. Trying to use the forward power play. Here's Iqbal once again, giving it to the tight head prop Amjad. Another good ball carrier. Here's Buso. Good defense by St. Joseph's, not allowing Zahira to make any yards. And that's a good rush defense by St. Joseph's, not allowing the scrum of Iqbal to send the ball out wide. Minhaj Samsudin, lovely break by Minhaj, lovely feint coming through as well, just needed that offload. And looks like a turnover. St. Joseph's on the attack. Here's the danger man now. Good tackle coming in. Minhaj once again the man who made that break, and it's going to be a penalty in favor of St. Joseph's. Zahira playing offside, I guess.
It was unusual to see early on hitting so many close hits one after the other, and all of a sudden the line actually opened up.
Yeah, Ishan, in fact it was a high tackle, I beg your pardon. So and St. Joseph's with the first touch finder. Just outside the centre field or the 50-meter mark for Joseph's line out, and this is the first line out of the game. John Ganegoda, the hooker, collected nicely. Joseph sending out wide. Lovely running angle by the centre. Karinda Kishan, and this time it was kick into space, and Akila putting that into space. Good to see Shan Akila, usual number 10. This time he's taking those receiving or the carries as a second receiver. That allows more time to create that exit plan in that attacking line. Now this time Zahira with the scrum. In fact it's St. Joseph's scrum. It's a knock on by Zahira. Roshan Gunawardena to feed the scrum. Oh, interestingly, he feeds the scrum just by one hand. And that's going to be the first rhyme, is it? Number 35, Tharinduma Duranga, all the way too easy from that set piece. St. Joseph scoring the first blood. 5 points to nil with the conversion to come. Mishan, your thoughts?
The early execution was very well planned by this fly half. I think he saw the gap and he actually kicked to the corners, whereas our fullback was pretty much in the centre field, which actually led to that scrum down when a knock on. And it was very much coordinated move to work through the line, and brilliant try actually by the corners by number 35.
And here's the conversion, of course from a difficult angle. It looks like 36 to 37 meters with the angle, and the conversion is not successful. So St. Joseph's still lead early on, 5 points to nil here at the Single Schools Rugby League 2018, and we are bringing live pictures from Mardana Zahira grounds on your number one sports hub. So it's a restart time. Minhaj Samsudin, early on he started the game with a flat kick, and this time it's high and into the 22 and collected by the Josephian skipper Shan Akila, and he couldn't find touch as Mohammad Din, the Zahira skipper, claimed the ball and straight away into contact. This is some good play by Zahira. Keep the position using their forwards. St. Joseph's in the defensive line. Lovely break by the scrum half this time. In fact, that's a number 7 good offload. That was by Zaid who made that break, and Zahira into the red zone for the first time in this game. Iqbal sending out wide. Good tackle coming on Shamim, the lucid prop. Turnover. And that was turned over illegally, says referee Arna Shanta. So Zahira have the option to go for 3 points.
I think that was a very wise move to go for the kick because St. Joseph is only trailing with 5 points. So this might be able to reduce the gap.
Yeah, absolutely. This is where Zahira missed the plot early on in the Royal game. They had 2 penalties, 2 kickable penalties early on, Hishan, and the very first penalty was kicked into the dead ball area. Could have been a 5-meter line out, or could have been a 3 points if they opted to go for the points. But we'll see how this man, number 13, Minhaj Samsudin, can he nail the first points for the home team. And that is not a good kick, just out wide from the left hand uprights. So it's going to be a 22 restart. Maybe your cursor, Ishanur.
Well, seems like it was a very easy kick, but it depends on the kicker's position as well, probably at that time. Pretty much under pressure.
And here's the restart, sent to the deep. And the fullback with the collection runs in, and here's Iqbal, the scrum half. Once again looking for support, almost and turnover. Here's Dean once again, the skipper. St. Joseph's rushing in their defense. Zahira still playing their rugby in their own half and pretty much in the center field. That's a good touch, but it doesn't go to the touch. Zahira wins the battle. That looks like a maul. If it collapses, if it's unplayable, it's going to be a St. Joseph scrum, but you can see the ball in favor of Zahira. Iqbal sending out to the tight head from Amjad. He made some good yards, 2 to 3 meters. A much needed one. Amjad once again. In fact, Iqbal switching directions. Another penalty. Not supporting the body weight, St. Joseph's. Referee Shanta wants to have a word. Well, interestingly, he wants to have a word with the Zahira skipper. Maybe too much talking on the field. Will he turn over the penalty, or will he still fancy in favor of Zahira?
Probably that was a warning to the bench actually. So this time they're opting for a line out, probably looking forward for a driving maul.
Yeah, you're right. So after early miss, Ishan, this is what they are trying to do.
And I'm sure St. Joseph want to counter this, because this is going to be the weapon next week as well against St. Peter's, because we saw some really good driving mauls by St. Peter's yesterday against Kingswood, where they scored.
Yeah, that of course the weather factor also coming into that game. And here's the throw, and it was collected well by Zahira, and not, says the referee. It's an interesting call. The referee is much closer than where we are. So St. Joseph's has the opportunity to come out of jail.
It was yet another golden opportunity. The second one actually missed by Zahira.
It's all about that early momentum, isn't it, Ishan? Once you give a chance, I'm sure Minhaj Samsudin, after missing that early penalty, must be feeling that, so they have to come over it, just forget it, and play the remaining 60 minutes. Good break by Dialves at the number 20, playing at number 8. Rashin Fernandez sending out wide, and looks like Chetia, who slips, managed to keep position inside the 22. Again, once again, Dialves coming into action. Russian Fernando, the halfback, using all the forwards, especially inside the 22. And they're trying to get that overlap. And here's the danger man from that wide angle. Good offload. Numbers out wide. 2-on-1. Draw and pass. And unfortunately knocks it on. Shan Akila. It was too easy a pass. Almost a gifted opportunity. Unfortunately goes begging for the youngster.
There were 6 faces actually. They played from their 22 and they were so confident to run their line from there onwards. Whereas Zahira, on the other hand, when they play, actually, if you see, they are playing much more closer game, a tight game, than the ball moving on to the corners.
That's right, Ishan. It looks like St. Joseph's took a leaf out of Wesley game because although they won against Wesley, Wesley scored 2 back-to-back tries last week in that second half clash. Wesley attacked inside their 22 using their forwards and they scored 2 wonderful tries. And it's pretty much like what we witnessed last week at Havelock Park, but unfortunately Shan Akila knocks it on. And here's Zahira's scrum. Iqbal sending it to Samsudin. And that's a terrible mistake because it was taken out from the 22. You can't kick it out on the full. Maybe he's aware and he could not execute the kick with a bounce into touch. Maybe he's not aware, Ishan.
School rugby players are pretty much aware of these game rules, I'm pretty sure about, especially playing in the fly half position. And I think Zahira is continuously putting themselves under pressure by these kind of mistakes.
So here's another very good line out for St. Joseph, but they knocks it on. Mohammad Atik into contact. Here's Iqbal using once again the big Amjad at the tight head prop. And that ball comes loose, Amjad. Zahira opting to run inside the 22. This is a danger. St. Joseph just rushed in. You cannot be isolated as you go into contact. Amjad looking for support, opt to go by himself, the little scrum half. Still finding that exit plan inside the 22. We can expect a box kick, but the scrum half went into contact. Not sure who's offside. Well, interesting, St. Joseph's offside. So opportunity for Zahira to come out of jail this time around. St. Joseph still leading 5 points to nil. We're heading into 14th minute in our clock.
That was actually a good line-out win by Zahira, and they could have actually kicked the ball out to touch, but instead they opted to run. I think the problem was actually the players were not in position to actually make a move.
Here we go, line out in favor of the home team now. You can see from the assistant referee's flag that the wind factor 16 km/h from the southeast. And few dummies in that line out. Zahira managed to secure and claim it. Almost a turnover. And here's the big Sharik, the center. Can Zahira do something? Good tackle coming by Gamal Chetia. He's got such a good work rate. Iqbal sending out wide. Iqbal once again sending out. And Zahira driven backwards once again. Here's Iqbal switching direction. Skipper Dean giving that quick offload to Sharik in the center field. Again Shamim this time, the lucid prop. Hit and offload. Good work by Zahira. Marching forward. Good tackle. In fact, it's high tackle. You can see the arm of the referee. Are we going to see a yellow card? Unfortunately, we don't have the replay. Did you see that tackle? Was it a spear tackle?
Looks like it was. I was not quite sure actually. I was looking at the live play. It's actually pretty interesting where Zahira actually used the line and they actually made some breaks. So I think they should use it more often. And it was very good offloads actually by Zahira.
Well, Ishan, 3 penalties just outside the opposite 22. If Zahira had a good place kicker, that's 9 points on the board.
I think they are missing Zaid Singhawan, sir, and I can see him in the ground running around.
That's what a place kicker is all about. Such a worth in terms of nailing those points on the uprights.
And actually it's pity Zahira being a known for football actually, and soccer, they should actually have a good place kicker.
I raised the same question, Nishan, last week against Zahira versus Royal game. Abdullah Yusuf also concerned on that, but here's Zahira with a real good opportunity. Looks like a knock forward on that occasion. Turnover ball once again to St. Joseph's.
St. Joseph too, I think, didn't have much opportunities to actually use their line, and Zahira had the ball position most of the time.
Yeah, absolutely spot on. And here's the Dialves once again breaking from the shorter side. Good tackle coming by Zahira's number 7. It's a full flankers tackle by Zaid and driven into touch, so it's going to be a Zahira throw-in.
Seems like a knock forward. No, it's a line out, correct. It's a line out.
Well, last week we saw both the teams opting a short line out, just 4 or 5 men in that line out. Well, turnover by St. Joseph's, good work.
It was a St. Joseph line out actually. Probably a Zahira foot or a hand would have touched the ball before it went to the touch.
Thank you for the correction, Ishan. Here's the win three-quarter, and that looks a high tackle indeed. But referee will go for the initial infringement. Zahira playing offside, but I thought for an instant it was a seatbelt tackle coming with the force, and we didn't see much help coming from the assistant referee either. With that touch finder, Ishan.
I think the concern is if it is above the chest line, is it? So I think it was right on the chest line that the tackle was. We cannot see a replay, unfortunately.
Ishan Noor with his sharp goggles. And here we go, Josephs once again with the line out. We're into the first quarter. Another good carry. Here's starting the Dialves, the big number 8. And that's a good break by Akila. In fact, Samisha Viranga playing at that first receiver. Another good break by St. Joseph's. They are making yards. Knockback, says referee. Turnover this time by the home team. Here's a Skamaf Iqbal sending it to Minhaj Samsudin. He puts the kick in the air. And that was well collected by Piatissa, the fullback. Is it a deliberate knock-on? Looks like a deliberate knock-on. Are we going to see a yellow card? Well, it's a 2-on-1 situation, and unfortunately Zahira winger has to come into the bin. That's Rushdie. Unfortunately, we don't have the replay. Well, referee Shanta is not happy with the Zahira coach, and he wants to give a yellow card to Zahira coach. And he's just given a yellow card to Zahira coach. he certainly will not be happy with the home team at the things progress here.
I think the first time I'm actually seeing a yellow card given to, I know it is possible to give, but this is the first time I'm actually seeing it given to a coach.
Great turnover. Great steal by Zahira, but St. Joseph's looks like they regained position. It's a knock-on advantage, looks like. And kicked into touch, and it's going to be a Zahira penalty. St. Joseph playing offside. Well, interesting. Referee Aruna Shanta taking it so serious. 21 points. In fact, 21st minute. We're into the 22nd minute, and he just wanted to have a word with the match officials.
At the same time, we could also imagine the pressure from the coach as well, and it is pretty much normal sometimes for them to get aggravated and to comment on the match decisions.
Referee Aruna Shanta. Probably the most unhappiest man on the field than the Zahira spectators, because even though St. Joseph's leading 5 points to nil, but he's the man, sole judge in the middle. And here's Buso to kick it into touch. Can he make some decent yards? Yeah, that's a pretty decent kick on the 10-meter mark, Ishan. Zahira with a line out. Early on they stolen or steal the line out of St. Joseph. St. Joseph did the same 2 line outs ago. Nafis with the throw in, comes from the St. Joseph's hand. Zahira playing advantage. It's a knock-on advantage though. Iqbal sending out wide, giving it to big centre Sharik. Here's Iqbal once again, and Minhaj almost juggling through. Good defense coming in by St. Joseph's. Minhaj did well to keep position with his side. That's a good run by Zahira. Again switching direction, opting to go from the shorter side. Rush defense by Tanidri Alves. No arms in that though. And referee Zahira had 2 offside opportunities, one for Tanidri Alves offside, and then for the rush tackle.
Seems like it was a shoulder charge where the arms were not involved. I think referee missed that out, and lucky enough.
Well, interestingly, it's still 5 points to nil, and that's such a poor kick by Buso. Tarinda Maduranga giving it to dangerous man Pietissa. St. Joseph's running it out wide. Gamru Chetia, and knocks it on. And it's going to be a line out in favor of the home team, I reckon. Or did it come from a touch? Yeah, it's going to be St. Joseph's line out. John Ganegoda, the man in charge to put the throw in. Very good line out by St. Joseph's. Here comes a big prop forward straight away into contact. Tivaka Santosh. Well. Interesting. Falling in the rock, not supporting the body weight.
We were just commenting about the line outs, and it was such a perfect line out, and probably St. Joseph want to execute the line, but unfortunately the man not staying in his foot. So once again it's a penalty to Zahira, and I think there is a good opportunity to Zahira once again.
Zahira playing inside St. Joseph's half. Early on they had 3 kickable penalties, and one was missed by Minhaj Samsudin, who's playing at the fly half position than his usual outside centre position, and the rest of the 2 was kicked into touch. It's a long line out. Once again it was lost, stolen by St. Joseph's. It's a knock-on advantage in favour of the men in the blue stripes. Here comes Akila, puts the kick into the open space, vacant area. The chase is coming by Tharinda Madhuranga, who scored the first try. Madhuranga with a lovely offload to highest try score of the season, and it's going to be too easy for Gamanu Chetia. Well, it's not a try, and Chetia has to come back. It was a forward pass, in fact. Spot on decision by referee Shanta.
But I think the fly half read the game really well, and he saw that space over there. The wing 3 was actually right in up front, and the fullback was not actually positioned properly. It was a really good kick actually, even though it was not. It was a forward pass, ended up in a forward pass, but it was very good thinking by the fly half. This young lad, I think he hasn't played fly half in previous games, is it?
No, he was playing in the first inside. Just a change, coach Nilfa Ibrahim made to this starting lineup, but such a wonderful work by Madhuranga. He's the guy who made that or scored that first try. Good scrum, nice and square as Iqbal feeds. Skipper Mohammad Deen, lovely draw and pass, lovely break, and Sharik knocks it on. And Joe's playing advantage. And here's a very good chance in that far corner. Good tackle coming in by Zahira, and it was kicked into touch. So defense wise, so far so good.
Big concern when it comes to attack with Zahira. There have been so many opportunities, and over here again losing the ball. And I think this is not the score actually Nilufer would have actually expected, because 26 minutes passed and it's just 5-0. Probably he also would have wanted to make some changes early on.
Yeah, absolutely spot on, Ishan. And also the weather condition, the ground condition is much better than yesterday, like we discussed between the St. Peter's versus Kingswood game, where Peters won 20 points to 10, and the water conditions have dried up. It's a pretty decent track now for all the backs to run, but Zahira, I think they have a 60-40 position, but yet unable to score, Ishan.
And also not forgetting Zahira is playing with 14 members, because one yellow card still yet to go in. So with 14 members, I think Zahira is doing well with their defense, and St. Joseph, unexpectedly, they are not doing that well in the attacking.
Yeah, that's right. Rushi with the intentional knock-on.
Deliberate.
Yeah, it looks like a deliberate knock-on yellow card, so his time is up to come back to the field. You see some dark clouds coming in. Zahira with the scrum. In fact, St. Joseph's
Zahira putting
are in the defensive work. Iqbal feeds, and we don't see St. Joseph's scrum off, putting any sort of pressure, and Minhaj once again knocks it on. It's a double knock on, so the referee will come for that scrum.
It's so unfortunate. I think they've all planned to run the ball wide, and scrum half, the fly half actually knocking the ball on.
Yeah, and we saw some great camaraderie, Ishan, between St. Joseph's winger Shah Nakila and Zahira's number 7 Zaid, the flanker, giving high fives. Maybe low high fives. And here we go, Joes with another chance. We didn't see much coming from Rashin Gunawardena. He marshalled his forwards and backs quite interestingly, waiting for Tarinder Dialvis to break. Here's Dialvis, here's Rashin, lovely break. Looking for that offload, but Zahira tackles coming on time. Again, it's a high tackle this time. So it's going to be another penalty. Well, the coach is not impressed with that tackle. We didn't see a high tackle, did you, Ishan?
Not quite clear actually what exactly happened. That doesn't seem to be a high tackle. If it was, then it would have been a penalty. But looks so.
Well, it was a penalty, and I think St. Joseph opted for a scrum.
Oh, okay.
Interesting call. Russian Gunawardena to feed.
And the ball was turned on.
Well, the front row is not stable. Samisha Viranga playing in that pivotal position. Zahira putting some good pressure in this scrum. Russian to the skipper Akila, and that's a good break by Madhuranga. Can he go all the way for his second try? At the looks of it, Tanuja Madhuranga.
It was a line out. Very good tackle actually at the last moment.
Oh, Ishan Noor. Quite unfortunate. St. Joseph's 2 tries turned over. One off the forward pass, and this time Madhuranga finding touch in that far corner. The man who scored the first try. Such a good speedster, such a lovely break on that occasion.
We see some good defense from Zahira, but early on front on tackle was missed, and that is where the opportunity was created for St. Joseph to run wide. But so Zahira need to be more concerned about their front on tackles.
Yeah, especially in that 12-13 channel, Ishan. We saw so many misses coming in, and pretty decent line out drive by Zahira, moving 5 to 10 meters. St. Joseph still driving backwards. Good work by Zahira forwards, and it's going to be a penalty for collapsing. Pick and go from the prop forward Shamim. Still with advantage Zahira. Halfback Iqbal with a pick and go.
5-meter line out ended up in the 40-meter line. Some wonderful work by the forwards.
Here's Big Sharik. Very good tackle. 3 on that big centre. Still in position with Zahira. Good offload coming in from Iqbal to Amjad. And here's another break by Minnat Samsudin. Good tackle by Josephine player. Iqbal once again switching direction. Here's skipper Mohammadin giving it to centre Sharik. Sharik with a fend and a good tackle coming in by Gamru. In fact, Shan Nakila. Wonderful turnover tackle. Joseph's playing advantage. Samisha Viranga puts the kick into space, and it doesn't find touch. Here's the wing recorder coming off the bench after sitting 10 minutes in the naughty chair, and that's a poor decision making by the Zahira's number 14. That's Rushdie. Should have kicked it out to come out of jail instead of running to the danger zone. Joseph's on the attack now. Zahira into defense. Dialvis with the pick and go. Can he go under the post? And there comes the second try. A much weighted try coming after nearly 28 minutes from scoring the first try. Tarinder Dialvis, the number 8, scoring under the post. So it's 10 points to nil with the conversion to come.
Like you correctly said, I think after about 20 minutes of laps, St. Joseph scoring. So I'm pretty sure that both teams are pretty tired, fatigued after so many phases going in. And interesting to note that none of these were actually structural play tries, because all were on broken play, and that will be a concern actually, even though they scored. Something to think about.
Yeah, absolutely right, Ishan Noor. Just all the tries came from the broken play, like you mentioned, and here's the conversion to be taken by Samisha Viranga. And this time it was too easy for him, so it's 12 points to nil in favor of the visiting St. Joseph's. 2 tries and a conversion for their scorecard. Minhaj Samsudin to take the restart. We still have few seconds remaining for the first half. Zahira taking some time to settle. Kick was collected by Russian Gunawardhan at the halfback and sending out wide. Here's Gamanu Chetia, breaks through, and Gamanu Chetia, can he go all the way? 2-on-1, draw and pass, right time to the scrum of number 9, Russian Gunawardhan. So St. Joseph's hits back with an immediate try after scoring the second try just before the half time, and it came inside the 22. Lovely break. And not playing selfish by Gamanu Chetia. Simple stuff, basic stuff, draw and pass and score the points.
We were just talking about structural play and scoring, and I think it was a very good move by the line actually, and wonderful draw and pass, not being selfish, though there were 3 players outside. He actually drew it very well and passed it,
yes,
beautifully scored.
Indeed, he had the option to pass to his right or left. He found Russian Gunawardhan. Good supportive run by the little halfback.
I think Coach Nilufer will be a bit relieved right now and maybe think of some of the replacements in the second half.
We never know, till still early days. And the conversion is good. So that's 19 points to nil, and that's the halftime call by referee Aruna Shanta. We've seen so much of dramas here at Zahira College ground. A yellow card to Rushdie, number 14, for a deliberate knock-on. Also a yellow card to Coach Shamli Nawaz.
We shouldn't be forgetting that until the 30th minute, Zahira was actually defending very well. It was 5 points to nil. And last 5 minutes, actually, Joseph picked up their game and scored twice.
Absolutely, it was only 5 minutes to nil until the 30th minute. So St. Joseph scoring 2 good tries, 2 back-to-back tries, Dialvis and Russian Gunawardhan. And what we'll do is we'll go for a quick commercial break, and don't go anywhere. We'll be back with the second half action from Zahira College.
Let's start a life-changing partnership. Union Assurance.
ඔබ ළඟ රැඳි නම
සනසුම දෙන නම
එය සිංහ නම
මිහිර මවන නම
අවස නිවන නම
සෙනෙහ බෙදන නම
එය සිංහ නම
මුළු පවුලට සතුට සදන සිඟ අති විශිෂ්ට විශ්වාසය.
Isn't it time to grow up? Now you can with current accounts from DFCC Bank. DFCC Bank. Keep growing.
පිරිසිදු ෆ්‍රෙෂ් හිසක් තියෙන පිරිමි ශක්තිමත් ඒත් අධික තෙල් සහ ඉස්සොරි වලට පුළුවන් ඒ ශක්තිය නැති කරන්න මම ක්ලියර් මෙන් තෝරගන්නේ ඒ නිසායි ක්ලියර් මෙන් අධික තෙල් සහ ඉස්සොරි zero කරන නැවුම් මෙන්තෝල් වලින් සමන්විත නිසා මගේ හිස කෙස් හැම විටම ෆ්‍රෙෂ් ඒ වගේම ඉස්සොරි වලින් නිදහස් ක්ලියර් මෙන් ඉස්සොරි zero කරයි ලොව අංක 1 මෙන්ස් ෂැම්පූ
Isn't it time to grow up? Now you can with home loans, education loans and vehicle loans from DFCC Bank. DFCC Bank. Keep growing.
Let's start a life-changing partnership. Union Assurance.
Energetic and daring, some see the world in vibrant shades. The choice of every Sri Lankan, no limit.
සතුට බෙදන නම ඔබ ළඟ රැඳි නම සැනසුම දෙන නම එය සිංහ නම මිහිර මවන නම අවස නිවන නම සෙනෙහ බෙදන නම එය සිංහ නම
මුළු පවුලට සතුට සදන සිංහ අති විශිෂ්ට විශ්වාසය.
පිරිසිදු ෆ්‍රෙෂ් හිසක් තියෙන පිරිමි ශක්තිමත් ඒත් අධික තෙල් සහ ඉස්සොරි වලට පුළුවන් ඒ ශක්තිය නැති කරන්න මම ක්ලියර් මෙන් තෝරගන්නේ ඒ නිසායි ක්ලියර් මෙන් අධික තෙල් සහ ඉස්සොරි zero කරන නැවුම් මෙන්තෝල් වලින් සමන්විත නිසා මගේ හිස කෙස් හැම විටම ෆ්‍රෙෂ් ඒ වගේම ඉස්සොරි වලින් නිදහස් ක්ලියර් මෙන් ඉස්සොරි zero කරයි ලොව අංක 1 මෙන්ස් ෂැම්පූ
Some see a myriad of possibilities ready to break out in glory. The choice of every Sri Lankan, no limit.
Let's start a life-changing partnership. Union Assurance.
සතුට බෙදන නම ඔබ ළඟ රැඳි නම සැනසුම දෙන නම එය සිංහ නම මිහිර මවන නම අවස නිවන නම සෙනෙහ බෙදන නම
මුළු පවුලට සතුට සදන සිංහ අති විශිෂ්ට විශ්වාසය.
Isn't it time to grow up? Now you can with current accounts from DFCC Bank. DFCC Bank. Keep growing.
පිරිසිදු ෆ්‍රෙෂ් හිසක් තියෙන පිරිමි ශක්තිමත් ඒත් අධික තෙල් සහ ඉස්සොරි වලට පුළුවන් ඒ ශක්තිය නැති කරන්න මම ක්ලියර් මෙන් තෝරගන්නේ ඒ නිසායි ක්ලියර් මෙන් අධික තෙල් සහ ඉස්සොරි zero කරන නැවුම් මෙන්තෝල් වලින් සමන්විත නිසා මගේ හිස කෙස් හැම විටම ෆ්‍රෙෂ් ඒ වගේම ඉස්සොරි වලින් නිදහස් ක්ලියර් මෙන් ඉස්සොරි zero කරයි ලොව අංක 1 මෙන්ස් ෂැම්පූ
Isn't it time to grow up? Now you can with home loans, education loans and vehicle loans from DFCC Bank. DFCC Bank. Keep growing.
Let's start a life-changing partnership. Union Assurance.
Energetic and daring, some see the world in vibrant shades. The choice of every Sri Lankan, no limit.
සතුට බෙදන නම
ඔබ ළඟ රැඳි නම
සැනසුම දෙන නම
එය සිංහ නම
මිහිර මවන නම
අවස නිවන නම
සෙනෙහෙ බෙදන නම
එය සිංහ නම
මුළු පවුලට සතුට සදන සිංහ අද විශිෂ්ට විශ්වාසය.
Welcome back to the second half action of Zahira versus St. Joseph's here from Marathon. I bring you live pictures on your number one sports app www.thepapare.com, and this is Singer Schools Rugby League second round action as St. Joseph's leading 19 points to nil in the first half, and they were just scored one try until the 30th minute and the last 5 minutes of the first half. Joseph scoring two back-to-back tries, one for Russian Gunawardhan in the scrum half, and then the number 8 Taranidi Ali scoring the tries, also the first try by the centre Tarinda Madhuranga. And all set for the second half action, change of directions as St. Joseph's will attack from right to left. Well, we're waiting for something, maybe for the physios and the doctors to come onto the field after the half-time break. They're all having some refreshments, so all set. Here comes the home team, in fact. Yeah.
So it's going to be uphill task for Zahira, actually trailing by 19 points. Early on score would actually put St. Joseph under pressure. But still it's 3 tries behind Zahira. Referee has been having a casual chat with the two captains to have a clear and fair game.
Here we go, all set now for the second half action. And St. Joseph's to take the kick-off. Shamisha Viranga.
No changes as at yet for both teams, I suppose. But sooner or later there will be changes. First on kick. Zahira trying to move the ball from the 22.
Good carry. And that's going to be an early penalty. St. Joseph's playing offside in that breakdown. Inside the 22, Zahira has the opportunity to come out of jail now.
I think St. Joseph has conceived far too many penalties. I think we saw in the first half as well, probably about 3 or 4 penalties, and they are still continuing this half as well.
So it's going to be the first line out in the second half. Nafiz with the throw in, and that's not straight, but referee playing advantage. That came in favor of St. Joseph, so it doesn't matter. And that's rip away by St. Joseph's. Good stuff by Josephian player Vishwa Fernando. Here's Vishen Gunawardena, the halfback, sending it to the fullback, cuts inside. Dulanjana Pietissa. And that's a knock on, good pressure. Good pressure coming by Zahira. So it's going to be a scrum in favor of Zahira in between the halfway mark and the 10-meter mark.
We saw actually last year Zahira stepping up their game towards the second half latter part, and maybe probably we can expect this year as well, because St. Joseph have to up their game.
Here's the skipper Mohammad Din, good tackle on him, but good breakaway initially. And Buso acting as a halfback, giving it to his supporting runner. Good clearance on that occasion. Well, looks like a turnover. St. Joseph's did quite well. And there comes a big kick. It's fair play, says the referee. Good charge coming in, St. Joseph's, but the ball wins the race as it finds to the sidelines. Good work by St. Joseph's in that breakdown. Zahira had the position, but looks like, not sure what is this call by the assistant referee. Is that a late charge or it was a fair play? Maybe that late charge, but it was not late. In fact, that's why referee did allow the play to continue, but some swinging arm maybe.
Again, if you see Shabir, the St. Joseph fly half is actually spot on that corners where Zahira is actually weak in. There's no players to defend.
Well, interesting call by St. Joseph's skipper, taking the tap and sending it to Gamal Sheth here, trying to use their backs. Turnover by Zahira. Not sure whether that's a good decision by the Josephians. They just need to score that bonus points try first. And Buso with the clearance kick, taken by Pietissa. Another speedster at St. Joseph's fullback. Lovely draw and pass. Madhuranga in the far corner. Good bursting tackle coming up by Zahira defense. Gunawardena sending it to the big ball carrier Tiraka Santosh. And that's a good work by Samisha Viranga. And is that a high charge? The referee let it go. At the looks of it, it looked high, but there's no assistance coming from the referee in the sidelines. However, Joseph's with still the position and the attack. And that's a pretty much a poor pass. Could have been ended up a hospital pass. Tarinudi always the man who scored the second try, storming through St. Joseph's into the red zone now. Gunawardana with a pop pass using his forwards, Johan Akila. The tight head coming in, and Gunawardana this time, in fact John Ganegoda, the Josephian Zuka. St. Joseph's still with possession. Zahira defense very calm so far. And here's Gamnu Chetia. Fends it off and lovely offload, and here comes that bonus point try. It's a much deserved try for the St. Joseph's fullback Piyathissa, Dulanjana Piyathissa, with that bonus point try for the visiting St. Joseph's. So it's 24 points to nil with the conversion to come.
Beautiful offload by Gamnu Chetia. I think he committed some players and actually gave that underhand pass to the wing three-quarter. Wonderful move, and that is what I think they wanted. They were actually playing close, trying to suck all the defense in and then sending out wide, and that worked for them. Seems to be a difficult kick, but it went through. A wonderful kick.
That's right, made it look so easy by Samisha Viranga from that far corner. So it's 26 points to nil in favor of St. Joseph's. Zahira with the restart. Buso with a good kick and a good charge coming by Zahira flanker. Looks like Imad, the blindside flank. St. Joseph's attacking, and that looks like another high charge. It's not a knock on, play on. Here's the speedster, number 23, lovely step inside, good defense coming by Zahira. Looks like Ashan Fernando who made that break. Joseph's winning a penalty, taken it quickly by the skipper. Zahira not 10. Not sure whether the referee is playing that 10-meter advantage in favor of St. Joseph's. Still with position. Here comes that forward play. Lovely power run by Josephian forward, and a lovely offload to Tarinudi Alves. And Alves scoring his second try. In fact, it's a forward pass. Oh dear, 3 tries begging for St. Joseph's. 2 tries in the first half. One off the forward pass for Gamal Chetia had to return back, and then Tarinudi Madhuranga scored the second try. He found touch, and this time the third try.
We see some intense rugby actually. St. Joseph has upped their game, and broken play. They carried the ball really well, even in defense, and turned over the ball, and I think they're in the front foot right now.
Here we go, pressure time. Zahira scrum looks solid so far in this game. Here's Buso trying to run by himself inside the red zone. Good break by Buso. If he was tackled, we might say poor decision making, but this is some bright signs. Here's Minhaj acting as halfback. Sharik, in fact.
St. Joseph wouldn't have expected that. They would have expected to kick the ball to touch.
Here's the
But it
big
was
Sharik
good running.
centre. Yeah, absolutely right, Ishan. And he's brought down now. Well, what is this call going to be? Well, we can see a yellow card coming in. Referee Shanta having a word, and it's going to be St. Joseph's number 8.
Probably actually repeated infringement by St. Joseph team, so it would have been a team yellow card.
Behind the Dilshan is the man who has to sit in the Norwich chair until the 55th minute. So Zahira to make some territorial advantage. Buso taking all his time. And the ball comes just into our screens.
Good save by Shabir Carter, actually ensuring the ball not touching the screen.
Buso lucky enough. It's not that aerial kick, Ishan. And the kick came through the bounce. And number 17 to put the throw in for Zahira. The hooker Nafiz. Iqbal sending out wide. A scissor move to Big Sharik. Can he go all the way? Sharik, one man to beat. He opted to kick, and the kick comes through the bounce. And unfortunately knocks it on. Referee playing advantage. Russian Gunawardana, he was tackled. Well, comedy of errors here. And it was early on such a good break by Big Sharik. The Zahira centre with the number 12 jersey on. And unfortunately he knocks it on his second attempt. The first attempt, it was alright, Ishan. It came from the St. Joseph's player, so it was play on. Unfortunately, we don't have the replays.
And one more thing, actually, the support was now from both sides. It was like a slow motion run he had.
Yeah, he had only one man to beat, and he opted to kick into that vacant sweeper area. Not sure he identified his support arriving. Maybe not enough communication on that occasion, Ishan.
But it was so unusual to drive a line out from outside the 50 and to come up with a move. But it worked for Zahira.
Pietissa as the first receiver taking his eyes off, and it's a knock-on advantage for St. Joseph's in the far right corner. And there comes the boxing. In fact, it's not a knock-on advantage. It was a penalty advantage.
Player not staying in the foot. I think he had lost balance and fallen into the opposition side.
Yeah, falling over, not supporting body weight. So St. Joseph's can come out of jail leading 26 points to nil in the second half of Singer Schools Rugby League A Division class, and we are in the second round. We have 2 more weeks up, and that kick finds touch by Samisha Wiranga. And in the meantime, Royal leading 17 points to 15. That's another close encounter back at CNFC grounds. And St. Joseph's trying to come out of jail, but that's not a good throw.
St. Joseph having concerns with their lineouts, especially the thrower, and I'm sure Anuranga Valpola, Sri Lankan hooker who played at one point, will be concerned because he's the one who's backing the man behind the forwards play. I still remember Valpola has been an amazing hooker, especially the number 6 throws has been a remarkable mark of his.
Well, interestingly, Ishan, Wesley leading 17 points to 15. And in the plate segment, Vidyartha leading 24 points to 7 over Dharmaraja. And we'll bring you the news from Trinity versus Isipatana Graham from Havelock Park. And Zahira, can they redeem themselves? Lovely run once again and a lovely offload. Here comes the first try under the post. And skipper Muhammad Dean with a lovely set piece play. Zahira scoring the first try. And that gives some of warm up for their spectators.
Beautifully executed move by Zahira. And the big number 8 Dean scoring right under the post. I think he had a superb game last week as well. And here once again he's proving himself.
Yes, indeed, without a doubt, he's an unsung hero of this team and also throughout this single schools rugby league. Samsudin with the conversion, and the conversion is good. That's 7 points to 26. And Royal back on lead, 18 points to 17 with a penalty.
St. Joseph still playing with 14 members.
Yeah,
you look at probably another 5 more minutes.
Still have that numerical advantage.
Again, number 8 run. That seems to be a high tackle.
Well, I just took my eyes off. Unfortunately, I was looking at the screen, so it was that ample time. But Zahira still playing that position, and here comes the kick into the opposite half, and that bounces and goes into touch. Well, it's going to be a penalty.
Interestingly, penalty for offside was given.
So here's another opportunity for Zahira to gain some territory. Fifty-two minutes gone. St. Peter's still a man down, 26 points to 7. Nelfa Ibrahim's team leading. And Nafis with the throw in, and it's a poor throw once again. Here's St. Joseph's on the march, and that's a good timely run by Minhaj over Gamul Chetia, but he's Chetia, such a strong lad on the contact. Hands on the rug, so it's going to be a penalty in favor of the Joes. Unfortunately, we don't have the replay, Shan. There you can see referee Arnashanta. Still 26 points to 7, and Joseph's taking some time. Why not when you're leading and you have already scored the bonus point try?
And probably wanting their number 8 to come in back as well.
And that's not a good touch finder, Ishan. And it was collected by Zahira, number 25. Farhan playing in the left wing. That's a good run by the big tight head prop Amjad. Good clearance in the breakdown. A replacement scrum off on the job. And here's Muhammad Din, the try scorer, the skipper for Zahira. Once again using the short side. It's not held up. Big Sharik. He just looked for support, decided to go by himself. Falling over, says referee. It's a penalty. Well, he's the ball carrier and he plays the ball. Maybe he's playing again, not sure. So another opportunity to find touch. This time he makes no mistakes. Samisha Viranga, the skipper to St. Joseph's.
Pavindu Dilshan probably is coming in after being in the bench for 10 minutes.
Well, is that a knock-on? Yes, so it's a green knock-on, so it's another scrum in favor of St. Joseph's. Time is ticking. We still have 14 minutes remaining.
And we can see some changes happening. 15 minutes of play. Fresh legs in the park, so probably will be some good opportunity opened up for St. Joseph's.
Another change coming in, Radisha Pereira, number 17. The halfback replacement, Rashan Gunawardana, after scoring a try in the first half. After playing 56 minutes, he's off. And also Shawan Gregory, the tight head prop, comes in. That's not a steady scrum, so it's going to be a reset. In the meantime, Trinity College leading 12 points to 9 at Havelock Park. Another close game. Royal 18, Wesley 15. Correction, Royal 18, Wesley 17. Into the 60th minute. That's a good scrum this time by St. Joseph's. Tani the Dialvis sending out wide. Here comes a big hit. Turnover. St. Joseph's holding on to the ball, but it was good turnover. Here's Zahira on the counter. Can they go from the shorter side? That's a poor pass. So St. Joseph's with the line out. Good to see Ishan, the weather is playing its part. Thank God there's no rain, unlike yesterday and the whole week. It's been raining in Colombo and in Sri Lanka, some parts.
St. Joseph might try a driving maul over here with the fresh legs coming in.
Johan.
And unfortunately they lost the ball.
And it was lost here. Zahira on the counter. Another good run by Minhaj this time. In fact, it was Buso, the number 10 for Zahira. St. Joseph's killing it and winning the competition on the breakdown. Another breakdown penalty, this time in favor of Zahira, quickly taken by skipper Mohammad Deen. And his offload was collected by Minhaj Samsudin. He needs support, he cannot be isolated. Here's the halfback, Mohammad Deen with the offload. And Zahira into attack now. Dilhan going into contact and to the space by the scrum half. Trying to settle down Zahira, trying to use the pick and go. Just need a lot of patience, especially inside the opposite 22.
Some good ball carrying we see here. Shabir.
Zahira still with position. St. Peter's, St. Joseph's corrections, trying hard to turn it over. And Zahira marching forward into the red zone. Another good carry on the 5-meter mark. Can Zahira score their second try? Another pick and go by Dean, the skipper. And this time the try, is it? Still inches short. Referee out, Rashanta. Just on the right spot.
St. Joseph doing well with their defense actually over the fringes, if you see. Nice and low.
Absolutely valiant defense coming by the Joes. Another carry.
Looks like referee is playing advantage.
Skama Finam came off the bench, just trying to marshal his troops. A big battle going on. Is it going to be a 5-meter scrum because the ball becomes unplayable? No, it's still playable. Good pick and go. What a thumping tackle. Wonderful stuff by St. Joseph's player, but Zahira have the numbers out wide, and Muhammad Dean, the skipper, and he knocked it on just by the try line, but Zahira will have the penalty.
Probably might go for another quick tap.
Taken quickly.
Zahira has been camping there for some time now.
Knock on. It's going to be a turnover. Wonderful work by St. Joseph's. So much patience in their defensive line.
And we see more changes from both St. Joseph's and Zahira. Fresh legs in the park. So unfortunate, after trying so much, Zahira couldn't actually score over there. I think they used all their energy. But hats off to St. Joseph to countering that defense very well. And they were really low on their knee, and it paid off.
Looks like a blood injury for one of the Josephine players. Looks like it's Madhuranga. (26 points to 7). St. Joseph's with a scrum inside there. 22. And also another change coming in, number 31. I think it's Tangaya who came in place to replace John Ganegoda. Just under 10 minutes remaining. And Rajan's coming back strong in that plate competition. Vidyartha 24, Dharmaraja 15. It was 24 points to nil at one point. And that's the clearance inside the 22. Pretty decent touch. Is it? Well, the referee is coming back. In fact, it's just inside the 22. It's going to be another yellow card. Just a warning by referee Shanta.
Seems like a shoulder charge, and a penalty is being given to St. Joseph's.
So Joseph's gaining territory, penalty after penalty. In fact, the first touch finder, it was not a penalty. The offense from Zahira player came into a penalty. Now all of a sudden they're into the opposite half.
Beautiful throw, but it was inches ahead away. I think St. Joseph would have been trying some of their new moves, number 6 throw, and to work out something, and it didn't actually coming out well. There are some changes we can see in St. Joseph's bench. Probably 5 more minutes to play, and some changes are actually coming in. 5 more minutes in our clock, it's probably another 10 more minutes in referee's clock.
Shan Nakila comes off along with Joseph's number 5 Shan Iranda.
Zahira has the position, running with the ball, some loose pass over there.
Good tackle. Is it still Zahira ball? Yes, sending off to Buso. This kick can't go out on the full, and that nicely placed by Buso. St. Joseph's sweeper with the collection. Kicks into touch.
Attacking opportunity just outside the 22 for Zahira.
So line out time, Nafis to put the throw in. In fact, it's number 6 Imad who's in charge of line out throw. Collected well, that's charging in the air. It's going to be a yellow card without a doubt. That's clearly a charge in the air.
I think the new play in the park, number 24.
I think that's the right decision, Ishan. Safety comes first.
Cheka Jayanard.
Yeah, number 24, Cheka Jayawardana. And Zahira opting to kick out into touch, and can they score one try just before the final whistle? It's 26-7. Collected well this time.
Final minutes of the game, Zahira in the rolling ball. Worked some meters.
Yeah, Josephs did well to put Zahira down. However, still position with Zahira. Pick and go by Amjad and Big Shamim in the big forwards. You can see St. Joseph's players ready for the defense, and that's the break by Sharik. Good defense once again, going low on a big man. Switching directions once again. Here's the skipper, Mohammad Deen, and we can see number 3 tight head prop Amjad.
Sabri, if you see
is struggling with injury.
Right side of the field, there are about 14 Zahira players and only 1 or 2 players outside right now. So if there was a turnover, there's going to be some serious trouble for Zahira.
But still with position, Ishan, so they're just trying to go inch by inch and suck as much as numbers from St. Joseph's camp. And once again, Big Sharik, good defense coming in. Again using the shorter side where the numbers are. Good tackle by St. Joseph's player. It was the replacement player. And that's a fumble. It's knocked back, says the referee. Zahira still in the 5-meter mark. Still with possession. Once again sending out wide. Sharik with his third consecutive carry.
So unfortunately loses the ball in the process. St. Joseph taking their time. Maybe opt for a kick. Ball stays in.
That's not a good decision. The man who claimed that ball should have given it and then support. Here's Buso to Minnad Samsudin. Samsudin with the break. Can Zahira go all the way? Number 24 coming off the bench. And here comes the second try for Zahira College. Number 24, Anasdin scoring the try. A much deserved try for Zahira College, Ishan.
Shabir, this was I think the first or the second time Zahira worked the ball right toward the end, and it was a beautifully executed move, scoring Zahira. And probably Zahira should concentrate more on this working on the line, and because St. Joseph is also expecting a closer game to play close and tight, because Zahira, that is what they've been doing for the past 65 minutes or so. And moving out far wide is actually creating more opportunities. Shabir, will this be the final whistle, final move, or will there be another couple of more minutes left?
Looking at our clock, I think it's going to be the final play. Minnad Samsudin to take the conversion, but the referee's clock what belongs. Minnad Samsudin missed the very first penalty, a 3-pointer early on in the game. And since then he's been good with his decision making, and this kick is not successful, so that's the full time. It's 26 points to 12 in favor of St. Joseph's. And congratulations to St. Joseph's. Your final thoughts, Ishan?
I was actually expecting a one-sided game, St. Joseph to be more fierce in the attack, but first off we saw, I think first 30 minutes it was 5 points to nil, which was unexpected. But in the other hand, hats off to Zahira, actually they pulled up a very good game. Next week is going to be a tough game for St. Joseph for sure. With St. Peter's it's going to be the Joe Pete, and I'm sure some of these players are actually eyeing on for that big game.
Yes indeed, and what a comeback by Rajans, 22 points to 24 in that plate segment. And we also have to decide the player of the match of this game. Ishan Noor.
Pretty much, I'm not quite sure whom to be awarded as the player of the match. But talking on Zahira, skipper Dean actually played a really good game, though he was in the losing side. Some really good tackles, some good offloads, and he played a really good game. But talking of St. Joseph's, I think St. Joseph, the fly half, would be my man of the match because of the really beautiful kicks that he actually made. Shamesa, Viranga, some timely kicks and some really good moves, and he actually steered the game towards the victory of St. Joseph's. So Samesha for me, and for you, Shabir?
We'll go with you, Ishan Noor. You're the expert here. So Samesha Viranga, St. Joseph skipper, well done. He certainly did control the game nicely, often coming as the first receiver. And we'll go with the key stats of this game. You can see at the halftime it was nil, 19 points to nil in favor of the visiting St. Joseph's, and St. Joseph's scoring 4 tries, 3 conversion to Zahira's 2 tries and a conversion. All those points came in the second half, and Samisha Viranga, the ThePapare player of the match. And St. Joseph's will be playing St. Peter's next week. And that's all we have from Zahira College grounds, and we'll see you next week with more live action. I'm Sabir Kadir signing along with Ishan Noor and our technical crew from Zahira College. It's good night from us.
සතුට බෙදන නම
ඔබ ළඟ රැඳි නම
සනස
සිංහ නම
මිහිර මවන නම
අවස නිවන නම
සෙනෙහ බෙදන නම
ඒ සිංහ නම
මුළු පවුලට සතුට සදන සිංහ අති විශිෂ්ට විශ්වාසය.
පිරිසිදු ෆ්‍රෙෂ් හිසක් තියෙන පිරිමි ශක්තිමත්. ඒත් අධික තෙල් සහ ඉස්සොරි වලට පුළුවන් ඒ ශක්තිය නැති කරන්න මම ක්ලියර් මෙන් තෝරගන්නේ ඒ නිසයි. ක්ලියර් මෙන් අධික තෙල් සහ ඉස්සොරි zero කරන නැවුම් මෙන්තෝල් වලින් සමන්විත නිසා මගේ හිස කෙස් හැම විටම ෆ්‍රෙෂ්. ඒ වගේම ඉස්සොරි වලින් නිදහස්. ක්ලියර් මෙන් ඉස්සොරි zero කරයි. ලෝවාංක 1 මෙන්ස් ෂැම්පූ.
Some see a myriad of possibilities ready to break out in glory. The choice of every Sri Lankan, no limit.
Let's start a life-changing partnership. Union Assurance.
සතුට බෙදන නම
ඔබ ළඟ රැඳි නම
සැනසුම දෙන නම
එය සිංහ නම
මිහිර මවන නම
අවස නිවන නම
සෙනෙහ බෙදන නම
ඒ සිංහ නම
මුළු පවුලට සතුට සදන සිංහ අති විශිෂ්ට විශ්වාසය.
Isn't it time to grow up? Now you can with current accounts from DFCC Bank. DFCC Bank. Keep growing.
පිරිසිදු ෆ්‍රෙෂ් හිසක් තියෙන පිරිමි ශක්තිමත්. ඒත් අධික තෙල් සහ ඉස්සොරි වලට පුළුවන් ඒ ශක්තිය නැති කරන්න මම ක්ලියර් මෙන් තෝරගන්නේ ඒ නිසයි. ක්ලියර් මෙන් අධික තෙල් සහ ඉස්සොරි zero කරන නැවුම් මෙන්තෝල් වලින් සමන්විත නිසා මගේ හිස කෙස් හැම විටම ෆ්‍රෙෂ්. ඒ වගේම ඉස්සොරි වලින් නිදහස්. ක්ලියර් මෙන් ඉස්සොරි zero කරයි. ලෝවාංක 1 මෙන්ස් ෂැම්පූ.